Yes! We have witnessed it! Her phone has exploded! Hey guys, and welcome back to my Let's Play of the Crash Bandicoot n.sane Trilogy. Last time, we completed the first tier of levels in Crash Bandicoot Wars, and defeated Tiny Tiger and got covered in cheese. So now it is time for Coco to take on the next set of levels, well, apart from this one. This is a Crash level, and it's what I'm going to do first, Hog Ride. There's no Warthog here, instead we have a motorbike, and these levels are some of the worst in the game. They are a pain in general.
Why? Why must you continue to be a thorn in our side?
Who? What? Where was I? Oh, Tiny was a good fellow. He hated everyone and everything, but a good heart nonetheless. Please be more reasonable with my minions next time.
So these levels are a pain. You need to win the race in order to get the crystal. And trying to get the crystal and the gem on both at once is really hard to do. So I'm really not going to be trying to do that. If I do, that's great. But I'm going to be slowing down to try and get all the boxes, because I am not that good. And should you hit any of these cars, they will knock you out of the way. And what's really annoying about collecting the gem, the gem in this level, is that if you, such as that, alright, I'm going for the crystal now then. If you miss a box, you then have to go all the way back to the beginning. You have to start again, but there's no way of actually restarting. Unless you do the time trials. Now, I think it's still possible to do here. I know in the original Crash 3, in levels where it was possible, because it does block out bonus rooms and gem pads, but in levels where it was actually possible to get the time trial, to get the gem in the time trials, you could still get it, and that's one good thing about this. See, I completely failed, didn't win the race, didn't get anything, and I get that as my punishment. Alright, yes, I want to restart the level. You can only do that there. You won't be able, if you collect the crystal, that this option won't appear. Even if you're coming back a second time and failed to get the gem. So it is easy. Since you don't have to worry about other pathways here, you can collect the clock and just do it through the time trial. That is what I recommend. So if you miss something, you don't have to worry about exiting the level and then coming back in. I'm not sure if that applies to the n.sane Trilogy. I think it does, but I'm not entirely sure. So you have these boost pads here, which make Crash do a wheelie, but it does also make it very hard to turn. You can, but it's very hard to do. But you pretty much need to try and remain in a wheelie as long as possible when you're going for the Platinum Relic. Otherwise, you're going to struggle just to get gold. And you can. You don't have to remain in a wheelie the whole time. You will need to at some points in order to get even the gold relic. For some of these levels, the AI is a little bit better compared to the original. Because for some of these races, it was really hard just to complete the race, let alone break all of the boxes. The immediate one I think of is what will be the last one we do. Well, even this one. Even this one's giving me trouble. Can I get them both? Ooh. Just barely made either of those. God, and I get run over. That one is a bit easier in the original. The last one, which is set in the dark, is called Area 51 question mark. Or I think it's supposed to be pronounced as Area 51. But I always call it Area 51 question mark. And that is such a hard race to get first place in. Because the other drivers, or in that case UFOs, they are at like a set speed and a set pathway that they take. They are on rails. But it's just so hard to get past them. I always barely make the race. And that was the first one, and I barely made that one. But I do find Area 51 question mark to be slightly easier. Alright, our second and final already of the animal riding levels is Midnight Run. And this is one of the big problems I have, well, among several, this is one of the other problems I have with Crash 3. Some level tropes are overused, I find, and because some of them are rather underused, it just makes it more noticeable. Like, we have 2 of these. We have 2 scuba diving levels. Yet we have 4 motorbike levels, 4 jet ski levels, and 4 Egyptian levels. Now the Egyptian levels do all have like their own set of gimmicks. It's not like this or the motorbike levels where it's the same thing but with like a different time of day. Like, the Egyptian levels do have their own set of gimmicks. 2 of them are the same, and then you have one with rising and sinking water. You have one that's set at night, and you have the firefly. So, yeah, whoops. They're a little bit more varied. But, you know, it's still the same kind of aesthetics. And that's my biggest problem with Crash 3. Whereas we have, like, we only have 2 tiger levels. We only have 2 scuba diving levels. We have 2 future levels. That's not really a problem for me because I hate the future levels, but still, we only have 2 future levels. And I think that's it when it comes to the ones that only have 2. We have 3 medieval levels. We technically have 3 aeroplane levels. One of them is quite different, but we technically have 3 aeroplane levels. So that's the main problem I have when it comes to like the level variety. There's 30 levels in the game, and almost half of them consist of just 3 level tropes. When 12 of the 30 levels are made up of just motorbike, jet ski, and Egypt. But I think they probably should have either had 3 of each one, or like with Crash 1 have just 2 of each one. I gather that would mean there'd probably be a little less focus, but you know, even then, most of that's just for the like the aesthetics. We can still just have more platforming levels. Why couldn't we have had something like an actual Roman level rather than just the Colosseum for the boss? You know, what else would we do? What other historical things we have? I don't know much about like world history. I don't particularly care for history in general, unless it's horrible histories. Or prehistory. So, I'm not sure what else we have. I mean, I'm guessing that's like the Chinese Empire. We have ancient Egypt. We have dinosaurs. I mean, we had ice levels in Crash. We had an ice level in ice levels in Crash 2. That was close enough to the Ice Age, which would become an actual thing in Master Cortex. Hang apostrophe M high. Now this is another one where I'm not exactly sure what time period we're in. I know it's meant to be like in the tale of the Arabian Nights. What is the time that they're... I don't know when like the stories of the Arabian Nights became a thing. I'm guessing this is a historical time in the Middle East, but I don't know what time it is. You know, I'm pretty sure... I don't know. I've never been to the Middle East. I don't know much about the Middle East. But I don't know if they still dress like this in the Middle East in any way anymore. I know they do. I know like Arabic and some of the Jewish countries of the Middle East and everything do have quite some let's say interesting form of clothing. I don't blame them really. You want to try and keep your clothing minimalistic in a country that's very hot and mostly desert. And you have whatever those things are, carrying pots. And then you have Aladdin on his magic carpet here. Although Aladdin looks a lot more like Jafar. So he is on the magic carpet. There's no Cave of Wonders or a genie, unfortunately. Yeah, no genie. No Robin Williams. Well, yeah, obviously no Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. So I guess, no, Dan, I'm not sure if that's his name. Castellaneta? The guy who voices Homer Simpson. He was the genie in The Return of Jafar, and I think the TV series? I'm not sure, I've never watched the Aladdin TV series. I didn't even know it was a thing until just a few years ago. So, I don't know much about the TV series. I know Robin Williams came back for King of Thieves. But that's all I know. Anyway, the Arabian levels are also levels I'm not particularly a fan of. Mainly, not so much because of the normal level. It's mostly actually... Oh, I just missed the extra light. It's mostly the time trials. These are some of the worst time trials in the game. They are an absolute pain. And these are the bonus rooms I hate. The ones that require you to activate a TNT over a slot box. They bring it back in Rapid Cortex. And I'd say that one's even harder, because it's like the moment that thing appears on the screen, then the countdown starts and just gets faster and faster. And that includes the time where it's like this. You can't move off of the platform. And this is the other reason, one of the reasons I hate the time trials so much, hanging on these things. One thing that Crash loves doing in the original is randomly, for no reason, just jumping off, just letting go of the things and then falling to his death. And I have no idea why. He just does it, and I have no idea why. I don't press the button a second time, he just lets go for no reason. Oh dear. There we go. Don't jump. You can see there's another pathway over there. Whoops. That was badly timed. And there's a yellow gem off in the distance. But you need 10 relics in order to get that gem. Now it is actually possible to get that gem first, and I have done it. What you need to do is you'll need to get the 5 relics in the first chamber, and you need to get the relics in the other 4 levels in this chamber. Ignore Hang 'em High, and then go into the middle platform, and then you can do the secret level Ski Crazed, and then do that one's time trial, and you will have the 10. It is possible to get the yellow gem before getting the crystal in the game. In Hang 'em High, it is very possible to do. But it's not something I'm going to bother with. I'm just going to go through the level normally and then get the relics. So it will mean having to wait until after I get the relics to get the yellow gem. And I do need that yellow gem in order to unlock 2 gem paths. One is in the next tier, one is in the final tier, just like we had with Spaced Out. So that is a bit of a pain, but nothing too bad. Am I going to end up doing the exact same thing as I did last time, aren't I?
G'day, mates. Dingodile's the name, and Uka and Cortex gave me orders to bring the crystals to them during the Ice Ages. So give me the goods and shove off, or I'll roast yous.
Yeah, I'm already 13 minutes in, damn it. Alright, but there's a new enemy for the game. Dingodile. Half dingo, half crocodile. Though for some reason in Crash to Insanity he sounds like a pig when you hit him. I don't know why. Right, if you're a trophy hunter, once you collect the bazooka after the 4th warp room, you will need to shoot the Cortex Sphinx there, but I don't have the I don't have it yet, and I already have the trophy, so I don't need to worry about that. But that was something I did. I'm guessing you could do it in the original game. I'm not sure. That nearly killed me. So these are all based around Egyptian tombs. We have oil, and the controls on the oil are exactly the same as Crash 2's ice physics. So they're pretty bad here, much worse than the originals. There's absolutely no difference in them whatsoever. And I'm taking this, but I'm thinking that I can't get all of the boxes in this level yet. I don't think you can. I think you need the... There's one you need the purple gem for. And I forget what the other one requires. Ooh, barely made that. I mean, can you get it there? If time it just right. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I've already gotten up there anyway. But I believe there is a level where you do need to backtrack. You need to take the gem path and then backtrack along the normal path. In fact, I think there's 2 levels. And I think this is the other one. We go, just have to, well, to quote Rouge, we'll just have to find out, won't we? Oh, look, there's a relic on that platform. Right, here's something. I'm just gonna keep letting this guy throw, I don't want to know what he's throwing at me. I'm just gonna like, keep letting him do it. Pretty sure he's supposed to come out of all the pots, but he's deciding to stick with this one. It takes a while, but after... Oh, there we go. He does eventually disappear into the pot. He needs to do this for a trophy. Again, I don't know if it's something in the original or not. I just found out about it when I saw the trophy list. Whoa. So it takes a while, but he does eventually stop. Come on. N. I really hope these are grenades he's throwing. Like, it looks like a... Okay, there we go. Now if you break all of these... What is that? Like, what is the point of that? What does that have to do with anything? I just noticed that, like, hieroglyphic of Cortex there. Right, he will keep throwing these down. I think you can hit it as well, and it does cause him to fall. Or not. Unless they took that out for this. I don't think any of these are based off of real hieroglyphics. I could be wrong, because I'm pretty sure the Egyptians just made up the hieroglyphics as they went along. I wouldn't be surprised. I still wonder how they even know how they're even capable of reading hieroglyphics. I'm just gonna let them close off again. Boy, these are some slow doors. Oh! Whoops. So what is it? Yeah, okay. You need the purple gem. So I've wasted my time. Well, so I'm the sort of person that still has to break all the boxes he sees anyway. I don't have to collect the Wumpa Fruit, but I do have to break all of the boxes. I know, it's weird. And that was probably badly timed. Okay. Don't worry about the falling sand, it's just an additional detail they've added. I mean, these are... Well, no, when are we supposed to be here? Like, are we supposed to be at a time where... You know, if this is supposed to be in ancient Egypt, you'd think that the tombs... Well, I mean, there was plenty of tombs, it just depends when about... At what time in ancient Egypt you are, I guess. So I guess it could still be ancient Egypt. I mean, this guy looks like an ancient Egyptian. Wow, the timing for this is really off. And there we got these guys from the sewer levels in Crash 2. And in the original, just like in Crash 2, the flamethrower's hitbox is really big. And we have giant cobras. So yeah, we're not there yet. Gotta come back to this level. Not for a while though. Wait until we get the purple gem. And I don't even remember when we get the purple gem. I don't know why I always find myself leaving the medieval levels for last. I never do it for the first chamber though. For some reason when I play a Crash game, very often I will do the first chamber in order and then I will do the other chambers in a random order. So I always do Toad Village first, but for the other medieval levels I always end up doing them last. Because the medieval levels are just my favourite one and I'm not really sure why. I think what it might be is because they're only in the first 3 tiers. And because there's 4 Egyptian levels and because of how long the future levels go on for and stuff, I sort of just miss them. Like it's refreshing to finally go back into these levels. Just because you get tired of seeing the Egyptian levels and you just get tired of seeing the future levels. Even though there's only 2 of them, they are the longest in the game. And one of them is the absolute worst in the game. You know, that one has a hidden entrance anyway. So, you know, I just miss these levels. They're refreshing to come back to. Now, if we're playing the... here's the thing. I'm not sure about Crash 1 and 2, but the PAL versions... I don't know about anywhere else, but the PAL versions of Crash 3 has a number of changes. Firstly, because of the slower frame rate, it's like at 50 Hz, some of the time trials are different. Some are easier, some are made harder. There's a few glitches that have been removed for one or something like that. Like for the 2 hidden levels, the time trials in the North American release, although they were supposed to have their own times, because it ends up when you go into the level, it keeps the time for the original level you were in. There's only 2 hidden levels in the game. They're accessed similar to Crash 2, only it doesn't take you to another walkthrough. It just takes you straight to the level. And as such, those levels would keep the time limit. So it was Eggopus Rex and Hot Cocoa. They fixed, question mark, that for the original. For the I shouldn't say the original, they fixed it for the PAL version. So you actually, there is actually a challenge to them, because it made the Platinum Relics ridiculously easy. No, my invincibility! Why did I not slide jump? Oh, Sane Trilogy physics. I want to get invincibility at least once, and I want to do it on one of the Arabian levels, because I want to see... I want to see the very, I guess you could say, hot cocoa when she's on the thing. I mean, it's cocoa. It's not exactly a drug. It's cocoa. There's nothing wrong with a nice cup of hot cocoa. Hot chocolate, because it's really cool. See how easier that was? And these are another thing that are different. In the PAL version, they take 2 hits. In the North American version, they take 1. In the PAL version, if you hit them, they simply end up in their underwear. But in the n.sane Trilogy, everything is based off of the North American version. So I believe even in Japan, like, and it must have been weird for players, when they for some reason swapped around Slippery Climb and Sunset Vista, I think they're in the original order now in the Japanese version of the n.sane Trilogy. That's so weird to suddenly go from all the mechanical stuff and then end up in Sunset Vista. And it must have been a big difficulty spike going into Slippery Climb. Even if you don't care about the gems, which I know Sunset Vista is the hardest one. But still, Slippery Climb, that must have been quite a difficulty spike. Oh no! Ah, goodbye again, Aku Aku. I knew I was going to end up doing that when I was... before, I kept saying to myself, I'm going to miss it. Oh, yeah. By the way, he always does that. I don't know if he does it in the original level, but he always jumps into that nitro crate. It's like, even as I was going past it here, I was saying, right, I see you, crate. I gotta remember to get you first, and I still forgot to go after it first. I didn't get a single Wumpa Fruit out of that. Because, that was stupid, and I nearly did it again. Right, that's better. And I believe there are a few occasions in the game where it does that. In fact, there's one particular level, it's one of the future levels, where you actually have to, you need the green gem to get the box, to get all the boxes. You need to activate, and you need to ignore a TNT crate, and then wait for, or ignore certain boxes, and then you have to, take the green gem path where there is a switch box at the end, and then that will make the rest of the boxes appear. So it's a bit of a weird way of doing it. I mean, I don't mind it. It just makes the level go on for a while. I mean, you're at the very least, although you are going through the same part of the level again, so if you die, you are going to be back. You are going to have to redo a lot of the level, but you're still not backtracking. You're revisiting an area you're already in, but you're not actually backtracking against the camera in any way, except for I think like one small little area. So there, I don't really mind. Anyway, that was G-Wiz. So now it's time for our next boss. Crash always does the boss fights, except for the one vehicle one that Coco does, which I guess you could.
Right, now you've gone and done it. Them crystals are mine.
And Coco's boss is, I guess, in a way, it's a plane level. So I guess you could count that as the 4th plane level, and you're in like a Star Wars-esque ship.
Break out the butter. I'm gonna make toast.
But it's not too bad. By the way, you can press triangle to skip back. By the way, there is a much easier way to do this boss. Now you could wait for him. That doesn't hurt you, by the way. You could wait for him to do all of his flamethrower attacks. This is the particularly annoying one. You just gotta watch out for it when they come down like that. Or you can just, and eventually he will just destroy the crystals himself. I believe the crystals can hurt you though. like, if you touch the very top of them. But this is just the easier way of defeating the boss, I find. Because it is kind of difficult to avoid Dingodile's attacks, and I think his attack, I don't know if he has a set, ooh, that was close. I don't know if he has a set pattern, or if it's a random pattern. I think I'm still in the first one. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you die when you're right next to him, you gotta move away or up, but I know that doesn't kill you. And that's it. And Penta will come and do this, as he does in the original. The trophy is called Penta's Revenge. Now we have a double jump. That works oh so slightly better in this game, but I still don't like this double jump. Why don't I like the double jump? Well, we'll explain all that a little bit more in the next video when we go into the third tier. Will that also be a single part? How is it that what I assume to be the longest game is going to end up being the shortest one? Relic or no relic? I would say it's the longest one. Well, maybe, no, I guess not really, because you technically... The others only last a while when you get in the gems. But you need the relics to get the gems. But anyway, we now have our third tier of levels unlocked. We got another 5 levels, and this is where the difficulty starts picking up a little bit. So we have a lever level, another motorbike level, one of the worst levels when it comes to getting the relic, even the sapphire. Our first colored gem, which requires some backtracking in 2D, so there's no problem. And a level we can't get the gem in yet anyway. So, I will see you guys then.